Next time you look in the mirror and see a slightly crowded smile or a jaw that doesn't quite fit your face, remember this. You are currently paying thousands of dollars in orthodontic bills to fix a problem that didn't exist for 99% of human history. We are told that crooked teeth are just a roll of the genetic dice, a natural flaw in our biology. But if you look at the skeletal remains of our ancestors from 10,000 years ago, you will find something shocking. Nearly every single skull has a wide, powerful jaw and perfectly straight teeth, including the third molars. Ancient humans didn't have dentists, they didn't have braces, and they certainly didn't have fluoride toothpaste or electric toothbrushes. Yet, their dental health makes the average modern person look like a biological disaster. So, what happened to our faces? The answer isn't in your DNA, it's in your kitchen and the way you breathe. To understand how we lost our smiles, we have to talk about the physical work of eating. For millions of years, the human jaw was the most hardworking tool in our survival kit. Our ancestors weren't eating protein shakes, mashed potatoes, or soft ultra-processed white bread. They were chewing raw vegetables, tough fibrous roots, and dried meat that required massive muscular effort. Think of your jaw like any other muscle in your body, like your biceps or your glutes. If you spend your entire life sitting in a chair, your leg muscles will eventually atrophy and weaken. The same thing happened to the human face when we invented agriculture and industrial food processing. When we stopped chewing hard things, we stopped giving our jawbones the mechanical signal they needed to grow. Anthropologists have noted that as soon as a population switches to a soft diet, their jaws begin to shrink. Within just 1 or 2 generations, the wide U-shaped arch of the palate collapses into a narrow V-shape. Your teeth haven't changed size, but the garage you were trying to park them in has significantly shrunk. This is why your wisdom teeth get impacted and have to be surgically removed with painful, expensive procedures. Your ancestors didn't have extra teeth. They simply had enough room in their heads to actually fit them. This isn't just about aesthetics or having a Hollywood smile for your social media profile. The shrinking of the human jaw is a silent evolutionary crisis that is literally suffocating modern humanity. When your jaw doesn't grow forward and wide, your tongue has nowhere to go but backward into your throat. This narrows your airway, leading to mouth breathing, sleep apnea, and chronic fatigue that ruins your quality of life. Look at a portrait of a person from the 1700s and compare it to a modern teenager today. You will notice a trend of receding chins, tired eyes, and longer, narrower faces in the modern world. We have traded the robust, attractive facial structure of our ancestors for the convenience of soft, sugary calories. But the problem goes even deeper than the food we put in our mouths during dinner time. It starts in infancy with the way we feed our children and the habits we encourage. Ancient babies were breastfed for years, a process that requires intense tongue and jaw muscle coordination. Modern bottle feeding and pacifiers provide comfort, but they don't provide the same gym workout for a developing face. Then we transition children to baby food, pureed mushes that require zero chewing and zero effort from the jaw. By the time a child is 5 years old, the trajectory of their facial growth is often already compromised. Their mouth stays open, their tongue rests on the floor of the mouth, and the face grows down instead of out. This is known as the adenoid face, a look characterized by a flat midface and a lack of cheekbone definition. We treat the symptoms with braces, pulling teeth out to make room, and using machines to force air into our lungs. But we rarely address the root cause. We have abandoned the biological environment our faces were designed for. The legendary dentist Weston A. Price traveled the world in the 1930s to study isolated indigenous tribes. He found people in the Swiss Alps, the Amazon, and the islands of the Pacific with zero tooth decay. They had broad, beautiful smiles and nostrils that were wide enough to breathe perfectly through the nose. But as soon as these same people began eating the displaced foods of modern commerce, sugar and white flour, everything changed. Within 1 generation, their children developed crooked teeth, narrow faces, and a high susceptibility to physical illness. Price realized that dental health was the canary in the coal mine for the health of the entire body. Narrow jaw is a signal that the body did not have the nutrients or the mechanical stimulus to build correctly. Most people think that cavities and crooked teeth are the price we pay for living a long life. But many of these ancient people lived into their 80s and 90s with every single tooth still in their head. They didn't have cavities because their diet didn't consist of fermentable carbohydrates that feed the bacteria in the mouth. And they didn't have crooked teeth because their tongues acted as natural braces, pushing the palate wide from the inside. Your tongue is the strongest muscle in your head, and its proper resting position is against the roof of your mouth. When the tongue sits high, it acts as a scaffold that keeps the upper jaw wide and the nasal passages open. Modern humans are mouth breathers, a habit that causes the face to melt away from its genetic potential. Every time you breathe through your mouth, you are sending a signal to your body to change its shape. It lowers your blood oxygen, ruins your posture, and ensures that your teeth will never have enough room to sit straight. The Industrial Revolution didn't just give us factories and cars, it gave us a fundamental mismatch with our own biology. We are ancient bodies trapped in a soft plastic world that doesn't demand anything from our physical selves. We spend billions on cosmetic surgery to get the jawline that our ancestors got for free by simply existing. We use filters on our phones to sharpen our features because our real features have become soft and recessed. But there is a way to reclaim some of what we have lost, even in the modern age. Starts with the realization that your face is plastic, meaning it is capable of change through habit and posture. Health practitioners are now rediscovering the power of mewing or proper tongue posture to improve facial structure. They are encouraging people to chew harder foods, like carrots and tough meats, to stimulate bone density in the jaw. They are teaching children to breathe through their noses to ensure their airways develop to their maximum capacity. But more importantly, we need to change our perspective on what normal dental health actually looks like. Waking up with a dry mouth, snoring at night, and having crowded teeth should not be considered normal. These are the scars of a civilization that has forgotten how to eat and how to breathe like humans. Our ancestors didn't have the technology to travel to the moon, but they had the wisdom of their own bodies. They knew that the fire wasn't just for cooking, it was for the community, and the food was for the bones. They didn't need a dentist to tell them their teeth were straight because their lifestyle didn't allow for anything else. Nature is a brutal architect, and it only builds what is necessary for the function of the organism. If you don't use your jaw to crush and grind, nature will take that bone mass away to save energy. We are living in the Great Softening, a period where our physical structures are collapsing under the weight of comfort. So, the next time you see a photo of an ancient skull, don't look at it with pity for their lack of modern medicine. Look at it with envy for the structural integrity and the functional beauty that we have traded for convenience. We have gained the ability to fix our flaws with metal wires and plastic aligners. But we have lost the ability to grow the faces we were always meant to have. Your teeth are a map of your life, a record of every meal you chewed and every breath you took. And right now, for most of us, that map shows a detour away from our true evolutionary path. It is time to look back at the 99% of our history to understand why the 1% is struggling so hard to smile. The switch to soft food was a choice we made as a society, but the consequences are written in our bones. If you want to save your smile, you have to look beyond the toothbrush and the orthodontist's chair. You have to look at the work your face was built to do and start doing it again. Because your jaw is waiting for a challenge, and your lungs are waiting for the air they deserve. Don't let the modern world shrink you into a shadow of what a human being is supposed to be. Chew the hard things, breathe through your nose, and remember the kings and queens of the ancient world. They didn't have switches for the light, and they didn't have doctors for their teeth. But they stood tall, they breathed deep, and they smiled with the confidence of a perfectly built machine. The simulation of modern life is comfortable, but the reality of your biology is demanding and ancient. Listen to the bones. They've been trying to tell you the truth for 10,000 years. And the truth is, you weren't born with a broken face. You were just born into a world that forgot how to build one. Take back your jaw. Take back your breath. And finally, take back your smile, because the light is on, but the world is still waiting for you to truly wake up. Your ancestors are watching, and they are wondering why you stopped fighting for the space in your own head. The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't show you the potential that is still buried in your DNA. Unlocking it is up to you. The first bite is the hardest, but it is the only way back home. Sleep well, and when you wake up, remember to keep your mouth closed and your eyes wide open. The world is waiting for a human who actually looks like one. The end of the soft age is here. Are you ready to chew?